You were attacking Kanye because of the
Nah, he been, that was before. Guess Kanye West, it just happened. Nigga been coming at me. He been coming at me. It's just, I can't respond to those people, bro. Like that's a danger to what I got going on. You can't take no risk of losing this shit behind you.
Man, God really don't play. These streets got no heart, no mercy, no warning signs. People swore Boosie was gonna slip through the cracks after that pistol charge, but deep down, I could feel it coming.
Cases stopped me from doing traveling all across the world making. So I just want to get it over with and, accept my guilty plea. I'm ready to get over with.
Anything you want to say to your fans?
Just say a prayer for me. I just need prayer. I don't need nothing else.
Well, Charleston White was celebrating you taking the plea deal. I think he even said he hopes you die in jail and stuff like that.
Yeah, I heard.
The biggest thing right now was that you actually accepted a plea deal for your federal gun case.
Yeah.
Now, how long have you been fighting this thing from the very, very beginning?
I've been fighting for probably 3 years now, probably.
3 years.
The day he'd finally face that courtroom storm, and boom, here we are. Boosie staring down a cold 10-year federal sentence, and the internet went wild the second it hit. And who else but Charleston White screaming the loudest? The man jumped online like he hit the lottery, laughing, pointing, shouting. He said he'd been saving this moment like a trophy. He didn't just laugh at Boosie, he celebrated. Champagne bottles, jokes, the whole show. Then he took it too far, saying straight up that he wouldn't care if Boosie never saw daylight again. That's heartless. Meanwhile, Boosie had already told his fans earlier this month that he took a plea deal, completely drained from a case that just wouldn't die.
Oh, God is good. I keep telling y'all, street got no God. God do not look out for street. Boosie really thought he wasn't going to jail for that pistol. I knew he was going. I just would wait.
Prosecutors had dropped it once, but in 2024, they came back harder than ever, reloading the same charge with more bite. That smart choice plea now looks like it could steal 10 whole years from his life. While Boosie was on X crying out to God, posting emotional words about trusting his plan, Charleston White was online clowning like it was his birthday party. The contrast was insane. Just picture that. One man crying out for peace while another man's dancing on his pain live for the world to see. Boosie's been tangled in legal trouble forever, but this federal firearm case, this one's different. It's got teeth. Being a felon caught with a gun is one of the hardest charges to beat, period. When the case got dismissed back in 2023, fans thought Boosie had finally caught a break. They thought he was free to get back to his music, his kids, his grind. But the feds weren't done. They circled back in 2024 like, not so fast, Boosie. Re-indicted, recharged, and right back in the fire. That's when Boosie gave up the fight. On X, he wrote, "I thought this case was over and I was gonna get on with my life. But God don't make mistakes, and I'm tired of fighting." Those words hit heavy, like a man who'd finally run out of gas. And if you've been following Boosie since Baton Rouge, you know he's been through everything. Street wars, courtroom battles, health scares, he's dodged death and drama more times than anyone can count. But this one feels final. 10 years is a whole different level of pain.
The biggest thing right now was that you actually accepted a plea deal for your federal gun case.
Yeah.
Now, how long have you been fighting this thing from the very, very beginning?
I've been fighting for probably 3 years now, probably.
3 years.
You could feel his exhaustion through every line he typed. It wasn't the same fiery Boosie anymore. It sounded like a man cornered by his own reality. His fans came flooding in with love, prayers, and messages begging him to stay strong. But Charleston White, he did the opposite. He hopped on live, cheesing from ear to ear, bragging that he saw this coming years ago. He said Boosie was doomed from the start, and when the 10-year sentence dropped, Charleston said he was thrilled to see it. Then he crossed every line, saying he hoped Boosie died in prison. Even for Charleston, that was next-level cruel. But hey, this is the same Charleston White who built his name off chaos. The timing was brutal. Boosie hadn't even processed the news yet before Charleston turned it into a full-blown comedy special. No pause, no empathy, just straight mockery. But this rivalry, it didn't come out of nowhere. It's been brewing since 2022 when Kanye West broke the internet with that White Lives Matter shirt. Boosie called Kanye out, defending black people, and the internet actually stood behind him. But Charleston, he jumped in swinging, calling Boosie out for even speaking on Ye. That's where it all exploded. Charleston didn't just diss Boosie, he went below the belt. He dragged Boosie's son, Tootie Raw, and T.I.'s son, King Harris, straight into the dirt. He called them names, said they couldn't fight, even predicted they'd end up locked up one day. It was ugly. That's when people realized Charleston wasn't your average troll. He was a master manipulator going after kids just to hurt the parents. And the wild part? Boosie stayed calm. Instead of snapping like everyone expected, he explained in an interview with Tony the Closer that the wrong words could send him back behind bars. The man was showing discipline, refusing to take the bait. He knew Charleston was trying to set him up, trying to get him to slip. But that peace didn't last long. By early 2023, the tension was boiling. Charleston was clowning T.I. over his paperwork party, and that's when Boosie's son, Tootie, jumped in swinging. He called Charleston old, messy, and even told him to go die.
Say to your fans.
Just say a prayer for me. I just need prayer. I don't need nothing else.
Well, Charleston White was celebrating you taking the plea deal. I think he even said he hopes you die in jail and stuff like that.
Yeah, I heard.
The big
Charleston, of course, went full villain mode. He jumped on live and said, "I hope your daddy die from that diabetes. I hope they don't send him the insulin 1 month. Who even talks like that?" He basically cursed Boosie out through his son just to strike deeper. Then it got darker. Just a few weeks later, Tootie got picked up on gun charges. And Charleston, he was online celebrating. He bragged that he called the cops himself, tipped off law enforcement, even sent pictures. He claimed he'd been watching them because Boosie is a 6-time convicted murderer who used kids to kill people. That's when this whole thing stopped being internet beef. It became real-life chaos.
Cases stopped me from traveling all across the world making. So I just want to get it over with and, accept my guilty plea. I'm ready to get over with.
Anything you want to...
Barely 3 months later, Boosie got arrested in San Diego right after leaving court. And guess who popped up on live again? Charleston White, smiling, preaching, calling it God's plan. He compared Boosie to Daniel in the lion's den like it was divine punishment. The man turned Boosie's pain into his own personal sermon while laughing the whole time. Even when Boosie stayed quiet, Charleston was living rent-free in his head. By early 2024, this wasn't just rapper drama. It had taken over the internet. When streamer Aiden Ross tried to get Boosie on his show, Boosie refused because he didn't want Charleston's name anywhere near him. But Aiden flipped the story, saying he turned Boosie down out of loyalty to Charleston White. That lie caught fire until DJ Vlad stepped in, dragging Aiden for siding with a man who once praised Hitler and denied the Holocaust. Crazy, right? That moment proved how deep Charleston's influence ran. His name was everywhere. Streamers, rappers, YouTubers, all using it for clicks. Charleston knew his power and kept doubling down. By March, he was online again, claiming Boosie told promoters not to book him. But instead of leaving it there, he claimed he'd already contacted the feds and was ready to jam Boosie up for threats that nobody ever saw. And of course, he had to twist it deeper, mocking Boosie's health again and shouting that the FBI was watching because of him. Proof? Zero. But Charleston's biggest trick is his voice. Say something loud enough and people start believing it. Boosie even said folks behind bars have been calling him asking, "When you coming in here with us?" Imagine that humiliation, facing a decade in prison and getting clowned by inmates before even walking through the gates. Brutal! Whispers started floating that Boosie didn't even want to risk trial. He went straight for the plea, and honestly, who can blame him? Imagine Charleston White walking into that courtroom, joking, pointing fingers, maybe even testifying, and then jumping on live right after yelling, "I helped put Boosie away." It sounds wild, but that's exactly how Charleston moves. And it's not far-fetched either. Charleston's got a past. He's never denied it. When he was 14, he got caught up in a robbery where one of his friends, Antoine Doolittle, shot and killed a man named Michael Levy. And when it came time for court, Charleston took the stand and testified. In street culture, that's unforgivable, even as a kid. But Charleston never ran from it. He said, "I was young, I was in court, I told the truth." That's not snitching, that's survival. He doesn't hide it. He embraces it. He even bragged about never following any street code and said he doesn't care who's mad about it. Then old footage from that case resurfaced and the internet went crazy. People called him a hypocrite. How can you preach about rats and codes when you did the same thing? But instead of backing down, Charleston got louder. He said contradiction is his superpower. And honestly, that's why Boosie made the choice he did. The last thing he needed was Charleston White walking into that courtroom, turning the whole thing into his personal circus. Boosie knew if Charleston even sniffed a chance to get involved, it would have been chaos. You can picture it. Charleston cracking jokes, calling out the jury, and hopping online seconds later yelling, "I helped put Boosie away." That's exactly how he plays the game. And to Charleston, this whole thing ain't just news. It's victory. It's karma, validation, payback for every rant and every jab he's ever thrown. He's out here celebrating like his prophecies finally came true. Look at the timeline. It all lines up. The beef starting in 2022, the shots at Tootie, the chaos online, the arrests. It's like Charleston been waiting for this moment for years. But here's the wildest part. Boosie ain't even in prison yet. He's still walking free, but that plea deal is hanging over his head like a cloud. And Charleston, he's already dancing like the show's over. The internet's divided. Half the crowd laughing with Charleston, the other half praying Boosie catches one more break. But imagine this, if Charleston's this loud now, what's he gonna do when sentencing day actually comes? That man's gonna turn it into a parade. The internet won't just buzz, it'll explode. Charleston White will be front and center, shouting, laughing, and claiming victory like he just won the championship of trolling.